Wen Love Meets Deception. The Viral Romance Between Zhao Lusi and William Chan. It began with a few simple images: a lavish wedding hall bathed in golden light, a bride gliding down the aisle like a goddess, and a groom waiting with eyes full of tenderness. The scene was pure magic, the kind that makes time stop. Within hours, the internet exploded. People couldn't take their eyes off the couple. Their chemistry felt so natural it was almost too good to be scripted. Every detail, from her delicate lace gown to his sharp tuxedo, screamed perfection. The soft glances, the way he reached for her hand, it was cinematic poetry. Millions commented, wondering if this was a real-life fairy tale. But then came the truth: it wasn't a real wedding. It was a scene from a drama, and yet it felt more real than most weddings we've seen in real life. The bride was Zhao Lusi, the nation's sweetheart, known for her sweet looks and the quiet strength she brings to every role. The groom, William Chan, the embodiment of sophistication and charm, the kind of man who seems untouchable yet deeply magnetic. Together, they looked like a dream sculpted by destiny. Their visual chemistry ignited instant fascination. Every shared gaze felt like an entire love story unfolding in silence. What made them so irresistible wasn't just beauty. It was authenticity. Zhao Lusi brought a soft vulnerability, a warmth that felt human. William Chan countered that with authority, the aura of a man who has the world in his hands but would surrender it all for her. The contrast was intoxicating. Fragile meets powerful, love meets restraint. Viewers didn't just watch, they felt it. But beneath the glittering perfection lies a fragile truth. The woman who seemed to have it all was, in reality, fighting an invisible war. Growing up without privilege or love, she clawed her way up from the bottom, enduring humiliation and loneliness to become someone the world would finally recognize. Her success came with scars no one could see. The man who stood beside her, born into wealth and status, carried his own kind of emptiness, the loneliness of privilege. For him, this marriage was originally a strategy, a convenient escape from family expectations. Yet as he watched her resilience, her fire, and her ability to smile even when broken, his heart betrayed his mind. What began as a calculated union turned into something dangerous: love. But love built on deception always walks a fine line between fantasy and collapse. At first, everything shimmered with happiness. He showered her with affection. A dream house, grand gestures, constant protection. The world saw him as the perfect husband, and she allowed herself to believe it. But behind the laughter, there was fear. She wasn't from his world. To match him, she constructed a fragile lie. She hired people to pretend to be her wealthy parents, building a false past she could hide behind. Each day was a balancing act, every lie a thread in the fragile web of her survival. And as their bond deepened, so did her guilt. Her love for him grew, but so did the terror that the truth would destroy everything. Every touch became bittersweet, every glance a silent confession she couldn't voice. She wasn't living in a fairy tale, she was living on borrowed time. And then it happened. The truth surfaced like a storm, merciless and unstoppable. The empire of lies she built crumbled in front of him. He felt betrayed, not because of what she hid, but because he realized how little he'd understood the pain that made her lie. In an instant, love turned to anger, trust to distance. The public followed every moment of her downfall. She lost everything: her husband, her reputation, her career. Overnight, she went from being adored to being judged. But instead of breaking, she rebuilt herself piece by piece. Her pain became her fuel. She started again, this time with no lies, no masks. The world that once mocked her watched her rise higher than before, her strength becoming her crown. In the emptiness that followed, the once powerful man was left alone with regret. His mansion felt colder, the silence louder. He tried to drown the pain in work, but every corner of his home whispered her name. Her laughter echoed in his memory, haunting him with every heartbeat. For the first time, the man who thought he had everything felt what it was like to have nothing. He watched her from afar, her confidence, her independence, her unshakable poise. The woman he once pitied was now the woman he admired most. That realization tore him apart. He had lost her not because of fate, but because of pride. And when he finally admitted that, the chase began, not to reclaim what was his, but to prove that his love was real. Redemption in love is never simple. He didn't show up with roses or grand apologies. He showed up with sincerity, with patience, with the kind of humility that no billionaire could fake. He waited outside her workplace in the rain, stood by her side when the media attacked, and shielded her name from every cruel whisper. Slowly, he proved through action what words never could, that he no longer wanted to own her, he wanted to deserve her. Their reunion wasn't quick, nor was it easy. She resisted, scarred by the past. But love, once true, never really dies. When he finally looked into her eyes and said, "I see you," it wasn't about forgiveness. It was about two broken souls finding their way back home. The audience watching didn't just cheer, they cried. Because deep down, we all long for love that redeems. The world fell in love not only with their faces but with what they represented. Zhao Lusi's soft elegance carried the pain and resilience of countless women who've had to fight twice as hard to be seen. William Chan's stoic masculinity masked a heart desperate for warmth. Together, they became symbols of power meeting vulnerability, and of two people breaking the boundaries of class, pride, and ego. Their every interaction felt electric. Even silence between them spoke louder than dialogue. Viewers weren't just watching a show, they were witnessing human emotion stripped bare. The tenderness, the longing, the heartbreak, all of it was painfully real. It reminded us why we love love stories, not for perfection, but for the chaos and beauty that comes when two hearts collide. Beyond the diamonds and designer gowns, this story carries a message that resonates deeply. Love built on lies cannot last, but love that endures truth becomes unbreakable. The contrast between illusion and authenticity makes this tale powerful. She lied to protect herself, he lied to control his world, but in the end, both had to learn the same lesson: love means vulnerability. It's a reflection of real life. How often do we hide our flaws, pretending to be someone else just to be loved? This story reminds us that the most beautiful love isn't about perfection. It's about acceptance. And when we finally show our true selves, that's when love becomes real. What began as a single scene from a drama has become something much greater. A mirror to modern romance, a viral celebration of beauty, pain, and redemption. Across China, millions are replaying that wedding scene not because of its luxury, but because it represents hope, the hope that even broken people can find their way back to love. Zhao Lusi and William Chan didn't just act, they created a phenomenon. Their on-screen chemistry blurred the line between fiction and reality, making us believe in fairy tales again. Every frame, every tear, every glance reminded us of something universal, that love, when it's real, can survive anything. LVT-SHOWBIZ closing. And that's the love story that's captured hearts across China and beyond. A story of loss, and the power of forgiveness. If this tale moved you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to LVT Showbiz for more emotional journeys like this one. Tell us below. Do you believe love can survive betrayal? Thank you for watching LVT Showbiz, where every story shines brighter than the spotlight itself. Until next time, keep believing in love, in second chances, and in the magic that only true emotion can create.